Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. This thing working? Everyone hear me okay? Hello, hey, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, greetings, everyone. Just giving people time to come in as they get the notifications and making sure everybody can hear me okay. Please speak up if you can't hear me okay. Yes, yes, yes. I'm making a video where I make video game items in real life. Is there any video game items you think would be cool to make in real life that's semi-possible? Oh, jeez. I mean, the Ocarina of Time is always a cool one, but everybody's done the Ocarina of Time. So it's hard to think of one that hasn't been done to death, like the Pokeball has been done to death. And also, I'm behind on video game items, or video games in general. Can't read that name, but thank you very much. Well, got college in a few hours, so good night, Shady. Yeah, this stream was very impromptu, as my streams normally are. Basically, when I'm streaming, that just generally means that hold on. Oh, okay, I was just making sure my chat in the stream was working well. It basically just means that I wasn't able to get a video out when I wanted to, which is what happened. Because the last couple of weeks I wasn't able to. Hey, my D20. My D20 was missing for like the past couple of days. Just found it. The last couple of weeks have been a struggle for me with videos. The first week I had something personal going on, so I just couldn't work on videos. Like the whole week I just didn't work on videos. And then the second week I tried to get a script out, but I got the usual creativity block, and it's for a video that it's for a show that a lot of people have been requesting and that I really want to review, but it's one I haven't done on the channel. So I got like halfway through the script, and then I got halfway through and I realized I was complaining a lot. It's a show I really like, and I was like, I'm doing a lot of complaining about a show I really like, and that kind of stopped my brain from working on it. So we'll see if I can get that done by next week. If not, I might have to like jump to a video or a show that I'm more familiar with, just to get that out. Joshua, go for it. Thank you very much. Thanks, Shady. I really needed this today. My mom is being rude, and today is my dad's 13th anniversary of passing. So seeing you smile, hearing your dulcet tones really helps. Glad I can make your day just a little bit better. AMV University, thank you very much. Shady, will you ever do Young Justice or Batman Beyond videos? Think those will be good. Also, Batman Beyond is the best way to do a sequel series. So my plan is to do all the classic, at least one video on all the classic DCAU shows, but I do have to rewatch Batman, Superman, and Batman Beyond, because those are shows that didn't stick with me like Justice League did. And I also plan on looking at some Marvel shows. I was working on that, but Marvel shows are a bit more difficult because Marvel shows, they're not episodic like DC shows tend to be. They tend to have running narratives. Just a reminder, because I know we got a lot of new people. We got a lot of new subscribers in the past couple months. I do read chat. That's pretty much the point of me doing live streams. It's just to read chat and interact with you guys. But super chats do get priority. So if I don't see your message, it's not necessarily because I'm ignoring it. Although that is a possibility, but it's not necessarily that. So, but if you really want me to read something, you can super chat, or if you just want to support the channel, you can super chat. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, there are links in the description of all my videos to Patreon and PayPal. Hello, Shady Doorags. Could you do Batman Beyond episode about Bane? Possibly. Code Lyoko, perhaps? Code Lyoko, I would have to think about. Code Lyoko is very episodic, though, so that would actually be a good one. But I also have to find it. Like, if I can't access the show, then obviously I can't review it. So Code Lyoko, I would have to look for. Shaolin Showdown. I would love to talk about Shaolin Showdown. I would absolutely love to talk about Shaolin Showdown. It's difficult because there are a lot of shows that I would love to talk about, but I have a long laundry list of shows that I I know I should talk about because they'll be good for the channel. So like, you know, Teen Titans, there's so many episodes of Teen Titans I could talk about. Justice League, there's so many episodes of Justice League I could talk about. And then of course there's the shows that a lot of people recommend. Like somebody in the chat just said Dan Versus. Yeah, Dan Versus is something that a lot of people have requested that I check out. It's on YouTube. Colt Lyoko's on YouTube. Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Shady, first time being on one of your streams. Not going to ask for another King of the Hill episode since you have a lot on your plate. Just want to tell you you're awesome. We'll never be afraid to make requests because that is the... I'm one of those YouTubers who do look at requests. I know some YouTubers don't because there's the philosophy that a person who watches YouTube doesn't necessarily know what a YouTube channel needs. I do look at requests though, just because I like to see what in particular my audience is looking for, even if they might not necessarily like know what makes a good video. I address that in the videos. I'm like, oh yeah, this episode has been requested by a lot of people. So never be afraid to make requests on my channel at the very least. Danny Phantom would be sick series for you to cover. Danny Phantom, I was working on. I worked on Danny Phantom about half a year ago. I tried to work on a script for Danny Phantom, but it was one of those scripts that I got stuck on. And instead of releasing the Danny Phantom video, you guys got the Boondocks video. I wrote the Boondocks video because I got stuck on the Danny Phantom video. Hey, Shady, did you think Velma is a piece of trash of media worse than Dora and Caillou? Velma is pretty awful. I personally felt like She-Hulk was worse just because She-Hulk got rid of its climax, and that's something you just shouldn't do in a series. But in all other aspects, Velma is like objectively one of the worst shows. Well, no, the voice acting in Velma is pretty good, and I'd say compared to the acting in She-Hulk, because the acting in She-Hulk isn't that bad. I even go as far as to say it's okay, but comparatively to Velma, the voice acting is superior in Velma. It's like the voice acting and the animation are the one things that are at least par. You should cover the Shadow. He is what most Dark Thing heroes are based off of. I had to find something Shadow related. Love your DC related content, Shady. Thank you. Me too. Next EFAP appearance. That would be up to EFAP. Not really up to me. Do you think to cover animated movies, old and new? By the way, what do you expect of Kung Fu Panda 4? That's one of the things where it's like there are a lot of ways I would love to branch out, but there's also a lot I have on my plate now. So I might try it as an experiment, but it's difficult to say exactly when. Because obviously I love animated movies. But I would probably like test the waters with like a DC animated movie, since DC is very popular on the channel right now. I would probably do something like that and then slowly branch out to other movies. I used to do movies like a lot more, but once you find a formula that really sticks for your channel, it's hard to justify moving too far away from it. Now, you don't want to be static and just do the same thing over and over again, because that can lead to your audience getting tired of you. So you do want to try to experiment and reach out. But if you experiment too hard, it can feel isolating to whatever project you're working on. So I would like to do movies, but I've kind of gotten out of the funk of doing movies. Like, it's hard. Another thing is like reviewing an entire series or an entire season. That has become difficult for me because I'm so used to reviewing individual episodes scene by scene. So trying to talk about an entire series or an entire scene has actually become a difficult thing for me to do now because I'm so out of practice of it. AMV University, thank you very much. Shady, how do you feel about the Louder and Prouder episode about its colorism? Because I hate it with a passion. Want to make a video on it. Any tips? Also more Boon. I could make a video on that. Some people did ask for me to make a video on that when it first came out. If I did that, it would probably just to like do something different. Because I think that is a video that would get a lot of views if I tackled it. But it's not necessarily a video I want to make. So yeah, if I was ever just like, I feel like feeling cute, I might make a different video today. I could probably tackle Louder with Prouder. I didn't watch too many episodes of Louder with Prouder because as I got older, I wasn't really a fan of I stopped being a fan of the Proud Family. Like when I was young, I loved the Proud Family, but as I got older, I really didn't like it as much. And Louder and Prouder, like I just knew I wasn't gonna like that, so I haven't seen too many episodes of it. Wint, thank you very much. I would love to see a video on the DC animated movie universe or the more recent Tomorrowverse. Love your videos. I love Justice League Dark. Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking into. I need to watch more DC animated movies because I love the scenes from them, but I never just go out and watch stuff because, like, if it's not for YouTube, if I'm not watching something for YouTube, a lot of time it feels like a waste of time. And if I'm watching something for a waste of time, like I feel like I really need to like it. And also, my attention span has gotten a lot shorter over the years. Thank you, Corvid Curiosity. What is your least favorite trope in superhero shows? Like, I'm tired of characters ripping on Superman. I like Homelander, but I feel too everywhere. Well, when you say trope, like, I guess you mean like a modern day trope, because characters ripping on Superman isn't like a classic superhero trope. It's just something that's been happening recently. And off the top of my head, I would probably say just them making fun of the superhero verse in general. Like somebody does something and then some character quips, that doesn't make sense, or oh, that's super silly. Like that joke has gotten so old. The MCU destroyed that joke. Have you ever heard of a cartoon show called Detention Air? It's a show about a teen who gets blamed for a prank he doesn't do, and he sneaks out of detention air to clear his name. No, I have not. That reminds me of another show. I think it was called Detention, about a bunch of kids who always get detention. Have you seen Dan Versus? No, I did not. Dan Versus came out during a time where I didn't have cable. Love your videos. You are too funny. Keep making everyone laugh. That is the goal. That is the main goal of my channel, is to make people laugh, you know, making people think and talking about lessons in cartoons and whatnot. I'm glad I can do that stuff, but those are all side goals. Like the main thing I want to do is make people laugh on this channel. Have you seen Amphibia? No, I have not. Shady, I just wanted to say that I've been really stressed because I'm going through my finals, but your videos are some of my only sources of relaxation, so I just wanted to tell you to keep going because you great. Thank you. I'm glad I can help you guys. Again, like my goal is just to make people laugh. It's always wholesome to hear that that people really get a kick out of these videos. How do you guys like the new setup, by the way? Although, again, we have a lot of new people, so you guys probably don't remember the old setup. But yeah, I was messing around with the setup. I think it looks pretty nice. I'm a little concerned about where my avatar is because he kind of blocks the message at the bottom. Maybe I'll move him over, but I'm pretty happy because I was a little annoyed with the last setup because you could barely see any of the comments, and now you can see them all. Definitely took inspiration from other channels because I've seen like they dedicate a huge space to comments, and I was like, okay, let me try doing something like that. Have you ever seen the PJs? I saw the PJs when I was young, but I have very little memory of it. Like the most I remember from the PJs is a joke where a character had a cake, and the cake had a bunch of roaches on it, and then they thought it was raisins. Like that's the most I remember for the PJ. And also one time when the main character, like he got knocked out or something, and then Black Jesus gave him some advice. Those are like the only two memories I have of the PJs. The Under the Red Hood movie would give you a good opportunity to talk about that character. The Under the Red Hood movie I've actually seen. So that could be a good starting point. What video games do you like? My video game tastes and knowledge are all stuck in the 2010s. My favorite video game series is The Legend of Zelda. Majora's Mask is my favorite video game of all time. I'm currently on my second channel. Might as well post that since people always ask about it. On my second channel, I'm currently playing through the Kingdom Hearts series. In trying to balance this channel and that channel, I haven't been doing the best at it. So I've taken a bit of a break, but I don't want to. I really want to get back into it. It's so Let's Plays are just so much fun. I typed in the code. It's not coming up. Maybe the something happened to the bot. Or maybe I changed the bot and I don't remember. But I thought that would bring up the link to the second channel. Oh well. The link to the second channel is always in the description. So you can always just go to the description of any video and there should be a link to the second channel. Brandon the Awesome. Also, my notifications stopped popping up for some reason. I don't know. Oh, this is turned off. That could be why. But yeah, the super chat notifications stopped popping up. I'm not sure why. Brandon the Awesome, thank you very much. Hey, who? How do you do? Brandon here. Been watching your content for over a year, Shady. Love it. Keep fighting for what is right and just. Thank you. I appreciate it. Is that what I'm doing? I guess, yeah, I guess I am technically fighting for what's right and just. I mean, the main thing that I try to do is I watch something and then talk about it. That's the main thing I try. And when you talk about something that has like morals you agree or disagree with, you tend to say your opinion on those morals. But I guess I do, talk a lot about morals. So that would be fighting for what I think is right. Hey, Shady, would you consider the 80s, 90s animated TMNT show? I would have to watch that. I grew up with the 2000s TMNT, and and I peaked at the ones after the 2000s. Like I've looked at the 2012 version, I think it was, and Rise. Like I saw a bit of Rise. Rise, I really enjoyed. Yo, Shady, me and my best friend love watching your content on breaks at work. It's cool to see you streaming. Thank you. I'm not much of a streamer because I feel like I'm not as good off script. And also, just streaming in general is not my forte. I'm more comfortable when I can edit my entertainment, because when I can control all aspects of it like that, to me, I can make it peak. Whereas when it comes to streaming, it's even when I'm recording, and it's not scripted, like on my Let's Play channel, I'm still more comfortable with that because I can edit stuff later. Streaming is something that's like, people come live during the stream. Even if I can edit it afterwards, the people who are enjoying the content most are the people who are in the chat live. AME University, thank you very much. What is happening to my notifications? I'll have to check that later, because the notifications for the super chats just stopped coming up. Shady, I got a vid idea for the Boondocks deal with Tom and a pimp named Slipback with simping. Any tips? I think it could do pretty well for me. Well, it depends on how. There's when somebody says any tips on YouTubing, I always say. Well, I don't always say this, but my thought process is, I've probably learned more than you'll forget. Because it's an individual type of thing. There's general advice you can give people, but not everything is going to work for everybody. So you kind of have to do what works for you. So the only thing I could talk about really is with my videos, and with something like that, I could definitely talk about it, but I feel like my opinion on that would ruffle some feathers. How would you react if Teen Titans show came back with the original cast? Anything that gets a revival or a reboot, I'm never excited about it, because I have been let down so many times. The 2010s was all about revivals and reboots, and so few of them were good. That's why I didn't care to watch the live action Avatar, because I was like, I don't really care about it. I'd say I think I've seen 2 that I really liked, not counting video game movies. Because the video game movies aren't necessarily good. It's just that they show passion for the source material. So I appreciate them nonetheless, even though their scripts could really use some work. But DuckTales and One Piece are the only 2 I've seen that I could really say, yeah, that was a good adaptation. Teen Titans Go, because Teen Titans Go originally started out as a horrible adaptation, and then it shifted to being a good parody. I think it's as a cartoon overall, I think it's junk food cartoon, but as a parody, I think it works, just not in the way it originally started as. DuckTales was a good reboot, though. That's what I'm saying. DuckTales is one of the few that I liked. I like Samurai Jack revival. Some people, I didn't finish watching it. I started watching it, and the first episode was really good, but then I just didn't find the time to watch the rest of the episodes. Man, I'm so hesitant to give Netflix Avatar a chance. I'm waiting for someone to tell me they did a great job, which no one has said yet. Well, we've reached a point in society where we're very hypercritical of adaptations because we've had so many bad ones. So the things I see about Avatar, it's I think 10 years ago, that is stuff that people might have been able to excuse, but now people they're so sick of it because of what happened with Velma and Lord of the Rings and lots of movies that they show they don't get the source material. People are a lot less forgiving now. What do you think about the Harley Quinn show? I've only seen clips of the Harley Quinn show. And some of the clips annoy me. Some of the clips, like I try to take it as just a joke because I like making fun of stuff that I like. So something that does that well, I try to just take it as that. Seth Lowry, thank you very much. Love your channel. I think a good series to look into is Transformers Prime. It has a lot of episodes dealing with loss, sacrifice, and what it means to be a hero and leader. Okay, I will. Transformers Prime, that rings a bell. Okay, I will consider that. I didn't like Korra at all. Don't get me started on Korra. I have a history with Korra. Longtime intellectuals know I have a history with Korra. You say that, but One Piece got a pass because it was faithful on a surface level. That is true. That is true. But I still feel like One Piece got it though, because One Piece got a lot of things wrong, but at its heart, it still felt like One Piece. That's the thing. A lot of these things they show that they appreciate the source material, and I think that's what One Piece did. And also that notification came up. AMV University, thank you very much. Raya the Last should have been a series. Yes, it should have, and it should have been fleshed out. You know what else I felt like it should have been a series? I just watched the first Dune movie because the second one's coming out, and everybody told me the first one was really, really good. I just watched that movie, and I was like, this should have been a series. Because I felt like the movie in itself was too long. The movie lost me. I loved the movie up until the I guess I say the first climax. up until the part where there's way more desert. Up until that part, I loved the movie, and then after I was like, this movie is going on for a really long time. Hey Shady, do you read comics? What's your favorite? I used to read comics. I still have a comic collection. There's a bookshelf with comic books all over it, but I haven't really read them in a while, and I don't read newer stuff because I started reading newer stuff in the late 2010s, and all of it I didn't like. So I haven't touched the comic in a long time, and every time I see more news on comics, it just frustrates me. Hey, Shady, still mourning over Spectacular Spider-Man. Please address this. Over a Spectacular Spider-Man, like the show? Because I'm not really mourning over it, but yeah, it ended too soon. Spectacular Spider-Man is considered, in my opinion, it's objectively the best adaptation of Spider-Man. I prefer the animated series because of nostalgia, but Spectacular is objectively the better one. Shady, would you think about reacting to South Park at all? Probably not. I'm currently watching South Park now because a lot of people have said that I should do something with it. And I'm trying to think of something I could do with it. South Park, the show, it isn't really my style. Like I could probably force a video if I really want to, but it's not a video I feel naturally flows with my channel. It's not a show that I feel naturally flows with my channel. Plus, I'm getting through it really slowly. Like I'm only on season 2, and I've been watching for a couple of months, and it's a really long running show. So. Speaking of anime, have you seen Yu Yu Hakusho? Yes, I have. Really good anime. Probably one of the best animes I've seen. Although the end, like after the Dark Tournament, like, you know, it goes downhill. It doesn't become horrible, but it does go downhill. AMV University, once again, Shady, I agree. I hate Korra with a passion. I got an idea of how they should do the next series by making the Avatar go around and spread Rava and Vatu around. Like, I don't adaptations and continuations, like I just don't care anymore. I've seen too many of them ruined. Korra was kind of the start of that. The thing about Korra was Korra had potential. Like by itself, I don't necessarily hate Korra. I think it made some heavy mistakes, but I don't necessarily hate Korra. But then people come out talking like Korra is just the best thing ever. I'm like, I feel like those people didn't pay attention. But you know, talking about people who disagree with you like that, it kind of makes me iffy. But it generally feels that way because the very first scene where Korra comes out and introduces herself is a slap in the face to anybody who's seen Atla, because it just completely stomps on everything you know about bending, that a 5-year-old can come and bend 3 elements. Like that just completely stomps on everything that we know about bending. Would you like a Ben 10K show? Yeah, that'd be fine. I stopped. I haven't seen most of Ben 10 though. Like I watched the original Ben 10 a lot, and then I watched all of Alien Force, and I think. Wait, did I watch all of Alien Force? I think I stopped in season 3 of Alien Force because Ben was annoying me, or maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was season 3. I stopped because Ben was just annoying me so much, and then Ultimate Alien I also got annoyed with. The only positive thing about Korra for me was I kind of had a crush on Korra herself, purely on looks and level when I was younger. Then she got a haircut and I dropped it. Somebody said that on Twitter, which, by the way, my Twitter has been doing really well. I wouldn't be surprised if a good chunk of you came from Twitter. My Twitter has been shockingly doing really, really well recently. Because it took me a while to get to 1,000 followers on Twitter, and I got to 2,000 last year, like towards the end of last year, and I'm almost at 3,000. Like a lot of my tweets are just really blowing up, and that's partially because of the avatar hype, but also my Twitter page itself is just snowballing. So I will I will definitely be getting Twitter Blue soon. Just waiting for a couple things to happen, but just because Twitter is becoming like an important part of the Shady Doorags communication, because it's another place where I can post things a lot. Kakumara, hope I'm saying that right. Thank you very much. What do you think about doing videos on a regular show? I was supposed to watch regular show. I did a poll asking people what modern day cartoon I should watch, and they said regular show, and I started watching it, and after the first episode, I was like, because I really don't like Mordecai and Rigby. I really don't. I know that's the draw of the show for a lot of people is Mordecai and Rigby, but man, I just really don't like them. Phil Croninger, thank you very much. Hey, Shady, have you looked at any of the big indie comics, such as Rippaverse comics, like Isam and Alpha Core? No, I have not. I don't know if I could justify getting back into comics because it would be a hobby, and I've already got other hobbies that I dedicate a lot of time to. And between this channel and the second channel, which I really obviously this channel is my job, so I have to spend a lot of time doing that. And then the second channel is like a hobby, but it's a hobby I really love, and it's a hobby that requires a lot of dedicated time. So I don't know if I could justify getting into comics specifically. AMV University. Why? I feel like AMV University is the only one triggering the notification. Thank you very much once again. I hate Amon the most because he's treated as right when he isn't. The idea of equality is flawed and only works when it's on a basic form. Any deeper bad. Well, part of Korra was supposed to be like questioning that type of mentality. That Amon was manipulating people who had justified grievances. The problem is, and Mr. Enna goes into this, is that we don't see enough of these so-called justified grievances. But, a lot of the issues with Korra was that they just didn't have enough time to flesh out a lot of the seasons. New Ultimate Spider-Man comic is very good. I read all of the original Ultimate Spider-Man. I loved Ultimate Spider-Man. There were some comics in Ultimate Spider-Man that were awful, like the whole Wolverine mind switch thing. That was an awful comic. But for the most part, I loved Ultimate Spider-Man. The first time I got introduced to Ultimate Spider-Man was the video game, and because of the video game, I read the comic, and the comic was a lot of fun. Who's your favorite DuckTales character? That's a tough one, because there's so many characters I really, really like. Probably, if we want to count Darkwing Duck, probably him. But again, it's a really tough one. I really like Louie. I really like Webby. I really like Scrooge. I really like Della. It's very difficult to say. There's a lot of characters in DuckTales that I just really like. The only thing I can say is my least favorite character is definitely Dewey. I really just detest Dewey. The Ultimate Spider-Man PS2 game is fantastic. Yeah, the Ultimate Spider-Man PS2 game, that's the one I played, and it's almost as good as the PlayStation 2 Spider-Man 2. The PlayStation 2 Spider-Man. The one that's based off the movie. It's almost as good as that one. Is that as good because the in-game content or post-game content isn't as good? But and also the Venom parts aren't as good in my opinion. But like the racing, I actually felt like the racing in Ultimate Spider-Man was better than the racing in Spider-Man 2. The web swinging was a lot more crisp, and that's not necessarily a good thing, but I felt the difference and I liked it. Grim Reminder, thank you very much. Spider-Man Unlimited's a really good show as well, especially with what they did with the character designs. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. I didn't like Spider-Man Unlimited, though. To be fair, I don't remember that much about it, but I did not like what I saw with Spider-Man Unlimited. Absolutely love your content, my man. Thank you very much. Hey, Shady, what is your all-time and least favorite episode of King of the Hill? Either one is fine. Probably, it's one I reviewed. Probably Miss Wakefield. Yeah, it's probably it's one where the neighbors just gang up on Hank. So either Miss Wakefield or Hank's bully. Or some episodes similar to that, where the neighbors just gang up on Hank just because they feel like being jerks. I like your content, even though I've never seen Daria. Oh yeah, I need to make another Daria video soon. Catyo90, thank you very much. What would be your ranking from best to worst of the original Justice League members, aka Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Martian Manhunter, and The Flash? So if you're talking about the order in which I like the characters, that would be Batman would be at the top. It would probably be Batman. So Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Flash, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, Wonder Woman. Objectively speaking, that's a bit different. But I've always been like a huge Batman fan from the DCAU, and no matter what, I tend not to like Wonder Woman. Like that's okay. I like Wonder Woman in the Justice League cartoon. I think she's fine there, but she is the one I like the least in that cartoon. And in other stuff, I tend not to like Wonder Woman because she seems very pompous in other stuff that I see her in. Like she always acts like she knows more than the other Leaguers. Do you like anime? That is a question I get asked a lot in streams. And my answer is always, I used to love anime. I used to be a huge weeb, but I fell out of anime because I watched a bunch of anime in a row that frustrated me. And it's like eating a meal you really like, and then 3 times in a row you eat it and it's disgusting. And I kind of fell out of anime. And I say all the time, I would more than likely get back into anime if I could find a legal way to watch all the episodes of Detective Conan, because Detective Conan is my all-time favorite anime. But Crunchyroll, despite having the rights to play them, does not have all the episodes. And I don't know where else I would be able to watch it legally other than just buying all the episodes, which I'm not about to do. What's your favorite animated film? That's constantly in flux, but I can tell you like my top 5. Which are Aladdin, Wreck-It Ralph, A Goofy Movie, Hercules, and there's one more, but I'm forgetting it. That's like my top 4. Probably my top 4. That's probably my top 4 movies of all time: Aladdin, Wreck-It Ralph, Hercules, and A Goofy Movie. Like I absolutely love those movies. I find it funny your favorite is Batman. I don't know why. That's pretty typical of online geeks. A lot of people love Batman. Have you? No, I don't do that. The yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. I don't do that. If you like Wreck-It Ralph, what did you think about it? The sequel. I got what I wanted from the sequel, but the sequel was very bad. I got what I wanted, which was the relationship between Ralph and Vanellope. That's the thing I loved about the first movie. But like the circumstances surrounding it was very, very bad. But I do have I would like to show you. I do have a poster of the Wreck-It Ralph princesses because I love that concept. I would have to bring up my camera controls. Where are you? Go away. I don't know if my computer's gonna let me. Let me see if my computer go away. Is it this one? No. Okay, there's that. Now, can we zoom out? Can we pan over? Nope, that's too far. The other way. There they are. I can't see the full controls. I'm trying to. There we go. Zoom out a bit. There they are. Yeah. So that's in my stop. Go back. That's in my office. All right. Now put it back on me, please. No, not that one. That'll work. That's good enough. Blue Spirit. Thank you very much. What 3 shows, Spectacular Spider-Man aside, that you feel ended too soon, aka they never finished their stories? They never finished their stories. Because if you're saying they never finished their stories, that's very different. Because DuckTales, for example, I feel ended too soon, but it did finish its story. I also felt like BoJack Horseman ended too soon. All right, so I'm just going to say DuckTales, BoJack Horseman, and Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Also, I'm going to throw in Danny Phantom. Because they tried to finish their stories, but they rushed them. Well, BoJack Horseman didn't necessarily feel rushed for the most part, but it didn't feel as rushed, is what I should say. But it definitely had another season in it, at least. Those all had another season in them. And you could feel that they had another season in them. Holly Angel, thank you very much. Hey, Shady, what was your first concert ever? Mine was Chili Cook-Off at Richmond Speedway all the way back in 2010. Worst show I've been to since. Now, your mistake is thinking that I'm a social person. I am very antisocial, although I know some people don't like it when I use antisocial. They prefer asocial. But I'm very antisocial. I think the only concert I can remember going to is a Jump 5 concert. That's the only concert I can remember going to. That wasn't like church related. So, I did go there. I went to there was a gospel singer who I went to one time, but I can't remember who it was. It was a male gospel singer, but I can't remember who it was. But yeah, I don't really go to like concerts and stuff. Though I would like to see some Broadway plays. Wasn't the Star ending extremely controversial? Yes, pretty much virtually everyone hated the Star versus ending because it was not only rushed, but it did a lot of things that fans didn't approve of in regards to the show, and it also had Star committing genocide and just ignoring it. Some of your BoJack Horseman takes, like the Hollyhock video, were somewhat controversial. Do you still have those opinions? Not judging. There are 2 videos that I've that I've gone back on. I forgot what the second one is, but the first one was the did BoJack ruin Dr. Champ's life? Not that I disagree with the overall point, but a lot of the mini points and how that video was structured were just awful. Joshua Goforth, thank you very much. Do you have a favorite episode, Boondocks? Mine is definitely the story of Gangstalicious Part 2 because it's so sad. And it's where I first heard the amazing song Rock and Roll Gangster. That in the movie theater episode. I believe the one I reviewed, the one with Riley, is my favorite episode. But there are a lot of really good ones. Just because I really enjoy the message that that this person who society deems as a bad person has value to them. I really enjoy that message. I believe all humans have some kind of value to them. Do you think you could make a video on the Dexter's Laboratory episode Rude Removal? Any show where the primary focus is comedy is difficult for me to review. So even though I watched the crap out of Ed, Edd n Eddy growing up, it's very difficult for me to review any Ed, Edd n Eddy episode because it's primarily comedy focused and I don't have much to say other than this is funny. And of course, there are like for example, the final Ed, Edd n Eddy movie has a lot of character associated to it, but it's still primarily comedy focused and it's hard for me to get any proper commentary because I have to find creative ways of saying what I'm saying. I can't just say stuff when I review stuff because that's not entertaining. You have to say what you think in a creative way. and constantly finding creative ways to say this is funny is very difficult to do for me. The thoughts on Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, thoughts on a review. So that is actually a script I'm working on, or Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That was actually the video that was supposed to come out today, but I ran into some trouble. So hopefully I'll be able to get that done pretty soon. But that's like next on the list, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, because I really love that show, and I found an episode I think is worth talking about. Hey Shady, what do you think is the line between a subtle message in a work and one that's beaten over audience's head? Well, it kind of depends. That's a really dependent answer, because something that could appear subtle to somebody could appear over the head to everyone else. I'm not sure I would have to think on that. I couldn't really answer that on the spot as like the main difference. Like if you do this, it's over the head. Have you seen the 2004 Batman show? And if so, will you cover it on the channel? I will consider covering it because people have shown interest in it. I did not watch a lot of it. I watched a couple of episodes, but like I said in my Brave and the Bold review, I was drawn away from it because it was very different from the Kevin Conroy one. And back then, I didn't like animated Batmans that were different from the Kevin Conroy one. Do you think there should be a Gravity Falls movie, like where they aged up the character? That's another show that ended too soon. Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls should have had another season. Specifically because I don't think Pacifica got enough character development. Like her character development was really good, but there should have been another season where she like gradually joins the team of that Dipper and Mabel you usually have. Is it the Spiderman episode of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes? No, though I was tempted to review that episode because that is the one episode I dislike. I really dislike the Spider-Man episode of Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Like, you'd think I would love that because Spider-Man is my favorite character. But Cap ticks me off so much in that episode. I probably will review that episode just to talk about how much it ticks me off because Cap really annoys me in that episode. To be fair, Gravity Falls was not canceled. Alex wanted it to end. I mean, that makes sense, but the story itself had way more potential for growth for the characters. Will you ever talk about Batman Beyond? Well, I answered that question earlier, but I plan on talking about all the original DCAU cartoons, but I need to rewatch Batman, Superman, and Batman Beyond because my memories with those shows are very like distant. I watched them when I was very young, and I didn't really get into superheroes until Static Shock. Though I always loved superheroes. I just didn't really start paying attention and get into them until Static Shock. What's your favorite Batman villain? The Joker. Mine is Scarecrow and Killer Moth. I'm very normie answer. The Joker. It's not like what happened with Al House or Molly McGee. Those were Molly McGee got canceled? Oh, I didn't know that. I'm still watching Molly McGee. I did not know Molly McGee got canceled. That's sad. Bruce Blue Spirit, thank you very much. For Batman Brave and the Bold, have you seen the episode that focused on Aquaman? I've seen an Aquaman episode, but I believe there's more than one. A lot of people felt like they thought I was going to love Aquaman. I'm not sure why, because like Aquaman's not really doing it for me in there. Like he's fine, I don't hate him, but it's not like a character I instantly became attached to. But a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, she's gonna love Aquaman once he sees him." Shady, are you friends with Angry Prepper? No, I do not know who that is. It just ended in January. Oh, that's probably why. Because I did see a lot of tweets on it recently. So that makes sense that it just ended in January. I like Static Shock 2. I was surprised that he was part of the DC universe. Water powers. Somebody must have asked what my favorite powers are because that's always my answer. What's one show that is really popular that you don't like? I mean, technically that would be the Vivzy Pop show, the boss one. But I don't know if we could call that really popular. It used to be really popular, but now people are like divided on it. A lot of people that show has lost a lot of people. Hello, Shady. What is your favorite Looney Tunes character and episode? Bugs is. It's either Bugs or Daffy. I'm not sure. There are times where I just love Daffy so much. And your episode, I don't know if I have a favorite original episode. Like I have favorite moments. Like Looney Tunes Back in Action. I just adore that movie. I really love Looney Tunes Back in Action. Like I just love the dynamic between Bugs and Daffy in that movie. Of a Boss, that one. I haven't seen Has Been Hotel. It's Of a Boss that I watched the first season and I thought it had a lot of potential. And the second season came around, I was like, this has lost me. The first season was already doing some things that annoyed me, but the semi-finale, well, it was supposed to be a semi-finale, but it became the actual finale, was so good. Like, I was like, wow, I can't wait for the next thing. And then season 2 started, and it didn't address it, which might have been because the actual final episode didn't get aired. But, like, that kind of lost me. And then as it kept going, they kept introducing new stuff. And I'm like, okay, this series is very unfocused. Is there an Atla episode in the works? There's technically always an Atla episode in the works. It's just Atla doesn't get a lot of views, so I'm not like motivated in that department to work on it. And then a lot of times my brain hits creativity funks, so that I'm not motivated in that department to work on it. So I never feel like any rush to work on my Atla videos, even though I should be trying to like do them like once a month or once every 2 weeks. I know I'm really bad at that. It's just that the channel has evolved so much since I started the Atla videos that the business side of me feels like I don't have a justified reason to work on them. They did release the actual last episode of the first season. Now, I might check that out, and that might change my mind. But I highly doubt it because, like, as season 2 went on with that show, I was really noticing like they're just so lost in focus. Since you're very into superheroes, I'm very curious on what you think of the Harley Quinn show. I haven't seen it. I've seen clips. Some of them are funny. Some of them annoy me. I saw your comment on a YouTube video called Kong of the Hill. It was awesome. Yeah, Kong of the Hill is a great video. I was hoping I could use my status to like boost the views on Kong of the Hill, but I didn't see the views on that video go up that much. What fictional food would you want to eat? Not anymore, but for a long time I wanted to try Scooby snacks, but now they're like considered, now that I know they're dog food, like not anymore. Pork butts and taters always seem to look really, really good. But and also a lot of stuff from the new Five Nights at Freddy's VR game. Man, I want to try some of that food. But man, speaking of food, like since the new year came around, I've been like dieting and exercising, and man, I'm currently calorie counting, and I'm like always hungry now because the amount of calories I'm used to eating are so much more than how much I'm supposed to be eating. But calorie counting, like I was losing weight for a while, and then for a while, like for 3 weeks, I just stopped losing weight, and then I started calorie counting, and I lost a massive amount of weight. So it's working. Have you seen Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? I've seen all the internet Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I've not seen anything that came out on cable. I love Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I listen to their songs all the time. Worlds of Cars, I'm going to presume that says entertainment. Because I can't see the whole name. Maybe if I click on it. No, I can't see the whole name. Okay. Worlds of Cars Entertainment. Found out about your channel a week ago and have been watching a lot of your videos. An EP from Batman Beyond, an episode from Batman Beyond that would make a cool video is season 1, episode 9. Also, Christian Gang, let's go. Yeah, like I said, I got to rewatch Batman Beyond. What I might do is I might do a reaction of me rewatching the first episode of Batman the Animated Series, just because that's where it all started, and it would be appropriate. The only thing is, reaction videos do take a bit to edit. Like they're not hard to edit, but they're a bit tedious because you go back and forth between camera footage and the episode footage. But that could be a fun thing. I tried to do a reaction video to the Daria movie. Is it college yet? I tried to do one of that, and I learned from that I cannot react to movies because I kept repeating myself. Like that video never came out because I was ultimately not. What was I saying? I was watching a movie. And I kept repeating myself. And I was like, well, yeah, I can't keep doing this. Sorry, I got distracted. Hello, Anna. I got distracted by that. That completely threw me off my game. Hey, Anna, welcome to the stream. What is the most annoying trope in a modern-day cartoon, in your opinion? The most annoying trope in a modern-day cartoon? I don't watch a lot of modern-day cartoons. So that's a very big shocker for me. It's like, you'd think a cartoon reviewer would be watching a lot of modern day cartoons. I'm trying to watch them more. But I've said this many times on the stream. My big hobby is YouTube in itself. I watch a lot of YouTube. A lot of people are surprised when they see me in the comments of other YouTubers. And I'm like, I'm almost always on YouTube. So that's a thing. Have you seen Young Justice? Yeah, I watched Young Justice religiously when it first came out. But then like, they released Young Justice on Saturday mornings. They released that stupid superhero block on Saturday mornings, and it's like they marketed it towards teenagers and young adults. It's like, oh, we're not going to be up then watching cartoons. We're not kids anymore. Though I do miss the days of Saturday morning cartoons. I absolutely miss those days. I was reminiscing about that the other day. I was listening to that song, It's Unbelievable. I forget who sings it, but they talk about growing up in the 80s and 90s, and man, I was reminiscing about Saturday morning cartoons and Nintendo 64s and all that stuff. Any chance you'll cover the Fairly Odd Parents special, Channel Chasers? Probably not, because like I said, that's a comedy focused thing, and and I have a hard time reviewing comedy focused thing. Like Tariq can do it, and I'm not sure how he does it, but Tariq can review comedy focused stuff and still make like quality statements about it. But me, whenever I try to review something comedy focused, it's like, this is funny, this is funny. Though I am gonna keep trying with Danny Phantom, because Danny Phantom does have lessons to teach, even though it's primarily comedy focused. Who is your most favorite DuckTales villain? That would be Goldie. I forget her last name, but yeah, Goldie. I absolutely love Goldie. She has great character development in DuckTales. I love, like, every episode Goldie is in, I love, but I especially love how she bonded with both Scrooge and Louie. Like, she's such a good character. I remember the block, and I miss Saturday mornings, and I'm a 2000s baby. I watched Fox Kids. I did not see the Disney Afternoon. I did not see that one. Disney Afternoon. The Disney Afternoon wasn't a Saturday block, but I watched Fox Kids. I watched One Saturday Morning. I watched Kids WB. Kids WB was my main one. Kids WB was the one I would wake up early just to watch all the cartoons. And then I got old enough where I had to mow the lawn on Saturdays. So I used to get mad because my dad's like, mow the lawn on Saturdays. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll wake up super early to make sure I get it done beforehand. But there's freaking dew on the grass. So you can't do it. And my dad didn't like me going out in the afternoons because we lived in Florida where it's super hot. And he's like, I don't want you to get heat stroke. So make sure you do it in the mornings. So I would like have to miss a bit of shows that I wanted to see. Did you ever watch Kids Next Door as a kid? Yes, I loved Kids Next Door. The finale constantly. My watch is telling me to get up and exercise. The finale constantly made me cry. Like I recorded the finale on my TiVo that we had back then, and anytime I felt like crying, I would watch the Kids Next Door finale. Because man, the finale in that show is so good that it is a spectacular finale. But yeah, I love Kids Next Door. Did you ever watch My Adventures with Superman? If so, what'd you think of it? I did not. I have to admit, I did not. Because it felt like another reboot, and I was like, I'm tired of reboots. I'm trying to think of other Saturday morning because Fox Kids became other stuff. 4Kids TV. Kids WB also became something else, and I don't remember what it was, but I watched it. But my main Saturday morning show was, at first it was I'm gonna say Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh was my main Saturday morning show. I loved Yu-Gi-Oh so much. Have you ever seen Recess? Yes, I have. Are you going to see Kung Fu Panda 4? I might. I bought a movie pass. I need to use it. I need to use it more. I have used it. I need to use it more. Just because as a reviewer, I need to be kept up on pop culture. So I need to be going to the movies more. The main problem I'm having is that when I go to the movies, I like snacks and I'm currently dieting. So if I go to the movies now, I'm not allowed to get snacks. I'm like, what's the point? Why am I even here? But considering my progress, this health, what's it called, weight loss thing that I'm currently on, it probably isn't going to last too long. I have to lose 120 pounds. I've already lost 25 pounds. So it shouldn't last me for too long. So I should be able to, go to the movies and eat my popcorn and nachos and chocolate, whatever I want. Shady, favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. Also, do you still keep up with Yu-Gi-Oh? My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card is because I'm a normie, is the Dark Magician. Do you still keep up with Yu-Gi-Oh? No. I stopped during GX. After GX, Yu-Gi-Oh just completely lost me. I loved GX until it started going back to the mystical stuff. Like it started with mystical stuff, but like once season 2 came around, it fully delved into the mystical stuff. And I was like, no, I just care about the card game. Shady Doorags, you have a favorite character in Justice League Unlimited? Yes, Batman. A lot of when people ask me like my favorite stuff, a lot of times I have very normie answers. Who's your favorite character in Justice League Unlimited? Batman. Who's your favorite superhero? Spider-Man. Toonzai, yeah, Toonzai and CW4 Kids, and then Vortex, yeah. I watched all of those, but like I said, like Yu-Gi-Oh was the main one. Did you grow up watching any Japanese anime on Saturday? Well, I just talked about Yu-Gi-Oh. Pokemon, those are all the three. Those are all like the big three for me growing up. Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Digimon. I was obsessed with all three of those shows. I still, to this day, love Digimon. I stopped watching Digimon. See, Pokemon, I stopped after, well, I was forced to stop by my parents after the first 150, after Gen 1. Yu-Gi-Oh! I stopped after GX. Digimon, I didn't stop until Cross Wars when I was in college. That's when I stopped with Digimon. But I watched I watched Adventure. I watched, wait, I forgot what 1 and 2 are called. I watched Tamers. I watched, Season 4, and I watched Data Squad. Data Squad sucked, but I freaking love Digimon. Which is your favorite Digimon character? Angemon. Angemon is my favorite Digimon character, with Magna Angemon as a close second. Who is your favorite Spider-Man villain? Probably Green Goblin, though I did not see Green Goblin for a long time because Green Goblin wasn't that heavy in the Spider-Man the animated series. It was mostly about Hobgoblin, and so and he wasn't in the video game either that came out on the PS1. So for the longest time, my favorite Spider-Man villain was, oh wait, did I say Green Goblin? No, sorry, I forgot Venom exists. Venom is my favorite Spider-Man villain. But that's because like a lot of times I see Venom as an anti-hero, but he's a Spider-Man villain, but a lot of times he's an anti-hero in the comics. X-Men Evolution or OG X-Men? I didn't like X-Men Evolution. I need to rewatch it because a lot of people say it's really, really good. I didn't like it when it first came out, and I didn't watch the OG X-Men. Or if I did, I don't have memory of them. The only memory I have of superheroes from the 90s is Spider-Man the Animated Series. I know I watched the DC cartoons, but I don't have memories of them. Spider-Man the Animated Series is like the only one that stuck from the 90s. Once the 2000s came around and Static Shock and Teen Titans and Justice League started happening, that's when the memory started sticking. I grew up with Tamers, but I love Frontier. Frontier, that's what season 4 was. I love Frontier so much. I debate what's the better English theme, Tamers or Frontier, because they're both so amazing. Frontier though, like hit me in a place I didn't know I had when I first heard that intro. Oh man. Did John Redcorn become a more humble character, or did they try phasing him out in the later episodes? Well, if you like later episodes with John Redcorn is more about him, and it's less about him and Nancy with later episodes. The only other episode about him and Nancy that I know about is Hair Today Gone Tomorrow, but that's more about Nancy than it is about John Redcorn. And that's the episode where I like hate Nancy and John Redcorn the most, because they established previously that they're gonna give up on the affair, and then in that episode they both just give in to temptation. John Redcorn specifically is very, very disgusting in Hair Today Gone Tomorrow. So I don't know if I'd say he's more humble, because what eventually happens to John Redcorn is that land that he buys, that the government gives him, he uses that land to try to start like a casino, and it doesn't work. Like a lot of things fall apart on him. And what he discovers is he has a talent for entertaining children, and he eventually becomes a superstar. Like he actually becomes extremely rich, entertaining children. What is the most underutilized Batman villain? That one I'm not sure about. Maybe Hush, but no, because the Hush comic is considered like the best, one of the best in the Batman series. So we got what we wanted out of him. Do you think that King of the Hill reboot will still have Dale, or will they kill off a character due to his voice actor dying? I have no idea. I have no idea. With I'm pretty sure there are plenty of talented voice actors out there, so they could get someone else, or they could just, AI is actually really good now at imitating voices, so they could try and do that. I think AI is a bad PR stunt because a lot of people are against AI in the arts. Like AI in the sciences and in the maths, people are fine with. They're still iffy on AI taking manual labor jobs. AI in the arts, people are just really against. Yo, Shady, which is better, Spider-Man TAS or Spectacular Spider-Man? Objectively, Spectacular Spider-Man is the best animated Spider-Man. I prefer TAS because I have nostalgia. I grew up with TAS. But Spectacular Spider-Man is objectively the best animated Spider-Man. Do you have a favorite case from Case Closed, Detective Conan, you can remember? My favorite was the Art Museum. I actually can't remember too many cases from Detective Conan. And I watched the first 150 episodes twice. Fifth Guy, I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you very much. Something I'm starting to notice about Spider-Man being my favorite superhero is that he's not allowed to be a happy person or in a healthy relationship. Yeah, that was something that always ticked me off with Spider-Man, was that the writers feel the need to keep him miserable. And they do that because the running theme behind Spider-Man is that he always does the right thing no matter how bad it gets. So to keep that theme, they keep him miserable. And it's, as somebody who's a fan of him, it's really annoying. Dan Slott has said a lot of things that annoy me, but I have to admit, he started the best, what I consider to be the best Spider-Man arc, which was the Big Time arc. Where Spider-Man, he gets a really good job working for, he gets fired as his job at the Daily Bugle. And then he gets another job as a scientist. And now he's got plenty of money and he's using his science to make his gadgets for Spider-Man better. And currently at the time, the world is under Doctor Strange's spell where no one can identify Spider-Man. So he doesn't have to worry about his secret identity getting out. And I'm like, this is so much entertaining. I love that arc throughout Spider-Man. It unfortunately ends with Superior Spider-Man. Well, actually, no. Superior Spider-Man doesn't technically end it. Superior Spider-Man just interrupts it, and I I hate how Superior Spider-Man starts so much. It burns in me how Superior Spider-Man starts. If you guys don't know how Superior Spider-Man starts, just be thankful. My goodness gracious, I was furious when I read Spider-Man issue 700. I was so mad. But again, right before Spider-Man issue 7 is Spider-Man at World's End, which is my favorite Spider-Man comic of all time. Spider-Man at World's End, where Spider-Man, the Sinister Six, is putting the world in jeopardy, and Spider-Man has to lead the Avengers to defeat the Sinister Six. The Sinister Six. I absolutely love that comic. Have you seen Drawn Together, Shady? No, I have not. Recall, I don't really... well, I shouldn't say recall, because it's been a while since I've streamed, and we have a lot of new subscribers. I'm more of a Saturday morning cartoon kind of guy. I got the reputation of being an adult animation kind of guy because of the stuff I tended to review in the past. But I reviewed that stuff a lot because they got views. So it's actually really nice that the superhero stuff is really taking off, because now I can be properly seen as like the Saturday morning cartoon enthusiast that I am. Are you black? I can only wonder. Yes, I am black. Have you seen Infinity Train? I have not. Never heard of Superior Spider-Man, but given how Shady's talking about it, I'm okay in my ignorance. Well, I didn't read all of Superior Spider-Man. But for those of you who don't know, Superior Spider-Man is Doc Ock inside Peter Parker's body. And he calls, of course, it's Doc Ock. He calls himself the Superior Spider-Man. But before that happened, Doc Ock getting inside of Peter Parker's body was considered the death of Peter Parker, and it was done. Peter was done so dirty in that comic, man. Shady Doorags, do you prefer more South Park or Family Guy? I haven't seen Family Guy in forever, so probably South Park. I'm just starting to watch South Park. Is there any superhero show that you absolutely hate? Any superhero show that you absolutely... There probably is, and I can't remember it. Because I tend, like, a lot of stuff that I hate doesn't necessarily stick with me. I tend to avoid stuff that I won't like. Do you like Kids WB? Yes. What are you hiding under the hat? Well, I'm not wearing a hat. I'm wearing a do-rag. Is any headwear a hat? I don't think you call a bandana a hat. I'm not hiding anything under the do-rag. The do-rag started because I started this channel when I was in college, and as you can see from my profile picture, I look really good in shades and do-rags. Like, I used to wear shades and do-rags all the time. So that's partially why. It is also because the channel I had before this, most, like, the shades and the do-rags were part of my uniform from that channel as well, but there was a lot more to it. And then when I came to this channel, the Shady Do-Rags channel, I just took off everything but the shades and the do-rag. Like, the avatar that I have, that's what I used to wear on my old channel. Like, I used to wear a mask, I used to wear a jacket, and I brought that avatar over from the other channel. The design of that avatar I brought over from the other channel. What are some other anime you've seen or watched? Well, I used to be an anime. I used to be a weeb. I used to be a complete anime enthusiast. Probably the best anime I've ever seen is True Tears, slice of life romance comedy. No, not a comedy. Slice of life romance. I've seen a lot of slice of life. I've seen My Teen Romantic Snafu, though I haven't seen the final season because it came out years after the second season. I've seen a lot of shonen, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z. I watched One Piece, but I got tired of after the Dressrosa arc. The Dressrosa arc is awful in terms of pacing, in terms of the anime. I hear it's much better in the manga. Dragon Ball Z, I watched Sailor Moon growing up. I used to be a weeb, so I liked a lot of anime. It's hard to list all of them. Have you seen My Hero Academia? No, I have not. And if so, what are your thoughts on it? I haven't seen it. Sounds like you had a full Channel Awesome costume back then. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I used to have a bag that I kept my mask, my do-rag, and my shades in, and I was like, back then I was called a random person. I say, oh, RP is in this bag. I still call my avatar a random person. In my files, the avatar is listed as RP. Also, a lot of millennial Americans kind of grew up on a lot of anime, like Hamtaro. Best Green Lantern, Hal or Stewart? I mean, I will probably always prefer Hal, just because I've read more with him. But really, Guy is probably my favorite. Just because I've read more stories with Guy in the core, and Guy in the core is very entertaining. If you like slice of life romance anime, you will either really love or really hate Nagatoro. Well, it's kind of hard for me to get back into anime. It's a part of my life that has gone by, but I kind of do want to get into it. I want to get into a lot of pop culture stuff. It's just my attention span is kind of shot at this point. College showed me that there's so much in this world to explore, and it like destroyed my attention span. Because it used to be I could focus on something for hours on end, and now it's like I have a hard time playing video games because I have a hard time playing video games because they take like I'll play video games for 30 minutes and be like, okay, that's enough of that. ATM, thank you very much. You're just awesome. Thank you very much. Did you ever see the Nicktoon My Life as a Teenage Robot? Yes, though I did not like it as much as like most people today talk about it. Like most people today see it as one of those Nicktoon giants like Danny Phantom or Fairly Odd Parents. I thought it was, I was fine with it. I watched it when it was on, but it never really like hit me in a specifically good way. Have you tried watching Owl House? I think it would be easier to go through since it's almost the same number of episodes, but it does become more serialized. I haven't tried Owl House yet. Yeah, that's what a lot of people talk about. It's one I should watch. It's very modern, but yeah, it's just a long list of cartoons. Also, Owl House probably isn't one that would get reviewed on this channel, though it possibly could. Hey, Kira. Hope I'm saying that right. Thank you very much. Random support message. I approve of random support message. What about Jimmy Neutron? Yes, I watched the crap out of Jimmy Neutron. I love Jimmy. I still to this day love Jimmy Neutron. It's a great show. It's very funny. I wish more people understood the victim mentality like you do. It's a serious epidemic of mental illness in millennials. Yeah, can't really disagree with that. I think there are plenty of people who understand the victim mentality, but it did have a pretty big epidemic in millennials. And I've kind of like moved slightly away from talking about that as much, but it's still there. Did you watch the 90s X-Men cartoon? I don't have memory of it. ATM, seen Across the Spider-Verse. Yes, and I have issues with it. I think the first movie was better. I don't like how it leaves off. I think it wastes a lot of time. I extremely dislike how Miles is able to outrun an entire team of way more experienced Spider-Men when they have shown the spider sense works on other Spider-Men. I really didn't like that. Seth Lowry, thank you very much. I'm really not an anime fan, but I love the film Spirited Away and Whisper of the Heart. Are you a fan of Studio Ghibli? I can't say I'm like a fan of Studio Ghibli. Like I objectively think they make great stuff, but I have not watched too many of their stuff. I think Kiki is Studio Ghibli. I hope Kiki is Studio Ghibli, but I've seen Kiki. I used to watch Kiki. Well, I shouldn't say I used to watch it a lot. It was shown to me a lot when I was a kid. And I have seen Spirited Away, which is pretty good, but I watched the dub, and the voice actress for the girl in Spirited Away is, like, she always sounds like she's screaming. I think it's the voice actress for Lilo. She always sounds like she's screaming for some reason. I've also watched My Neighbor Totoro, but I have no memory of My Neighbor Totoro. Thiff Guy, thank you very much. Who was the best Flash? Jay Garrick, Barry Allen, or Wally West? So I've always been a Barry Allen fan. And in my head, Barry Allen was always the best Flash. But recent years, I have been more in tune with Wally, because Wally seems to have more personality than Barry. Like Barry has a very generic personality. Wally is also the fastest Flash. This has been stated in the comics that he is the fastest Flash. And a lot of people say that Barry's current personality derived from Wally, because Wally was the character more people liked. So it's difficult for me to say because I've always been a Barry fan, but I've been persuaded by outside opinions that Wally is probably better. Were you a fan of Samurai Jack? I liked Samurai Jack, but I wasn't like a huge fan of it. I hate the belief that so many spider people are siding with Miguel instead of being defiant about it like Miles. So the story that they tell in Across the Spider-Verse, doing it with Spider-Man is a tough cookie, because Spider-Man is one of those heroes who just doesn't believe in losing a single life. Like, he doesn't believe in sacrifice unless it's him doing the sacrifice. So when you're saying that a Spider-Man has to sit back and watch other people die, it's very tough to believe that they would do that, and that Miles would be the only character to stand his ground and say, no, I'm not doing that. Now, I kind of let it slide because they show Peter watching an entire dimension fall apart, and I'm like, if Peter witnessed that, I could see him not wanting to witness it again. But again, Spider-Man is like, Spider-Man is kind of like just a bad choice of character to do that type of story, unless you're going to have him unless you're going to have all the Spider-Men questioning that. But yeah, only having Miles question it, and just a few select spider people who decided they randomly want to be on Miles' team. Yeah, that wasn't the best call. Shady, have you ever watched Doug or Hey Arnold? I watched Hey Arnold a lot growing up. Doug I watched, but I don't have too many memories of Doug. I did watch it a lot, but I just don't have any memories of it. Have you ever thought of making a SpongeBob review? No, it's comedy focused. Wouldn't be able to. Hey, Shady, you good? Yeah, I'm doing good. I would have liked to have released a video today, but I got creative block. Ben 10 versus Batman. No prep time. Who wins? Alien X is on the table. Batman probably wins. Because Ben is very manipulatable. And he's a kid. Ben in his prime, difficult to say. But Batman is very adaptable, and Ben as a kid he's so easy to manipulate because of his personality. And Batman is an expert in manipulating people, so I can't really see him losing to Ben in that regard. And also Batman is like a tech genius, so like Batman has gone in front of alien technology he has never seen before and figured out how to use it in seconds. Would you be interested in covering Justice League episode where they go back in time to fight World War II? I'm interested in covering almost every Justice League episode. In fact, before my channel got as big as it is now, I tried to cover every episode of the Justice League. If you go back far enough, you'll see where I started from the beginning of the Justice League series, and I started talking about the episodes. Unfortunately, I didn't get very far because at the time this wasn't my main job. I had a regular job, so it was very difficult for me to review it on a regular basis. I actually, in trying to do that, I wore myself out. Like I was physically exhausted all the time, and that's when I was like, okay, I need to take a step back. This isn't my main job yet. I can't do that. I can't dedicate myself like this. I don't even like versus battles, but can people stop acting like Alien X is an instant I win? But well, that's because in most situations, Alien X is an instant I win button. It's just you have to have somebody else who can manipulate time and also is on a universal scale, or is at least resistant to those types of powers. Alien X can literally do just about anything he wants to do. The problem is he has to want to do it. And since I don't know how much this has changed because I didn't get that far into Ben 10, but since Alien X is 3 personalities working together, he's not always going to agree. Would you be interested in covering any of the animated Justice League movies? Yeah, we talked about that earlier in the stream. I'm probably going to slowly shift to movies. I would like to talk about movies, but I need to slowly shift to it because I'm not used to talking about movies anymore. And also I have to see how the audience gauges with me talking about movies. Because right now I talk about things scene by scene, and that's kind of a difficult momentum to keep up when you're talking about movies. When you're just talking about an episode, like that, talking about things scene by scene becomes between a 12-minute to a 25-minute long video. And, that's work on my throat, that's work on editing time and whatnot. So, and also doing any kind of change is taking a little bit of a risk. And the channel is doing really well right now. So it's like, why, in your mind, you're like, why are you fixing what's not broken? Why are you making changes when people like what you're currently doing? And the answer, of course, is so you don't stay stagnant, you grow as a creator, so you just make little changes. But that thought is always in your head when you're at the moment being successful. You're always like, why should I change anything when it's working? Have you ever tried any of the Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman ice creams? If I have, I don't remember. Probably not. Like, because for me, an ice cream, it's like chocolate variants. It's chocolate or chocolate variants. So, chocolate or chocolate and peanut butter, cookies and cream. I don't like fruity flavors in a lot of stuff that I eat. Unless it's like gummy candy or something that's supposed to be fruity. My stomach is making noises. No, you can't eat. All right, we're already too fat. We got a calorie count. Batman or versus Captain America. The little hearts in the way I can't see. Batman versus Captain America. I feel like Batman would win against Captain America just because Batman is I feel Batman is a better tactician. Captain America is stronger, and I think he's technically faster than Batman, but Batman is a better tactician, and he's beaten people who are stronger and faster than him. Have you played the Arkham games? I played the first Arkham. I never beat it. I think I still have. Yeah, it should be over there I have a bookshelf behind my desk with all my games on it. It should be over there somewhere, and I probably have the second one too. Have you seen Dune 2? Gotta say, it's a 9 out of 10. I'm honestly not interested in seeing Dune 2 because I didn't like Dune 1. Well, I shouldn't say that. I liked most of Dune 1, but after the part where I stopped liking it, I was like, man, I'm tired of this. Also, all those advertisings that act like Zendaya is a major part of the movie really felt misleading to me. But like before that point where I got tired of the movie, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I especially loved the cinematography. But once I got to that point where I got tired, like it kind of affected my whole opinion of the movie, where I was like, man, this is just going on forever. Have you seen Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated? No, I need to watch that. Which is just a constant thing I say on this channel. No, I need to watch that. No, I haven't seen it. I need to watch that. I really want to watch Mystery Incorporated because I've seen the clips of Velma from that show, and I really like her in that show. I just don't like Fred in that show, though. Would you consider covering the first episode of season 2 of Ben 10 Alien Force when Ben 10 is on an alien planet with a hybrid? I need to rewatch Ben 10 so I can give myself a reason to cover it because I love Ben 10. Well, I love the shows I saw, the episodes of Ben 10 I saw. So I would love if I had a good reason to talk about it. I just have to come across an episode where I'm like, oh, that would be really good for the channel. What's the best animated crossover? Jimmy Timmy Power Hour comes to mind. Lilo and Stitch had some good crossovers. You should live stream the Arkham series. Well, on my second channel, I do play video games. The Arkham series could be something I do, but currently I'm playing Kingdom Hearts. I'm making a video game right now. I want to make video games. I really do. That is like the next step in my life. Once I feel like YouTube is in a secure enough place that I can take a bit more time off from it, making video games is probably the next thing I'm going to do. Because I went to school for programming, and that's partially why. Like when I was growing up, I loved video games. That passion is still there, even though I haven't really been playing video games. I just appreciate everything that goes into them. Interested in covering Generator Rex. I feel like it was canceled too early. I would need to rewatch Generator Rex to consider reviewing it. What did you prefer between Nick, Cartoon Network, and Disney? Cartoon Network will always win when it comes to channel. I was a Cartoon Network junkie. I watched Nick, I watched Disney Channel, but Cartoon Network was my number one. I get so nostalgic thinking about the bumpers in Cartoon Network. Like the summer bumpers especially make me so nostalgic because, you know, during the summer, you're home all day, and I was a couch potato. So seeing those bumpers, like, it's just something that's, it activates something in me, something that I really, really miss. You ever thought about doing Star Wars: The Clone Wars? Not really, because that's a very long series, and I've been trying to get through it, but I keep stopping for long breaks. What video game did you have in mind for making? The first video game I want to make is like a parody type video game. A video game that like parodies all other video games. Kind of something like Undertale, but much less serious than Undertale. And then after that, I would see where I would go. 2D games are more of my interest than 3D games. Cartoon Network is the best, especially in the 90s and 2000s. I mean, in my brain, the city era is peak Cartoon Network. Even though a lot of people consider the original Cartoon Fridays the golden era. Like the city era, that's where my nostalgia is, the city era. Because it has all the good parts of the 90s Cartoon Network and all the good parts of the 2000s Cartoon Network. And then it drops them all in the city aesthetic. It's amazing. Total Drama Island was cancer, didn't belong on Cartoon Network. I like Total Drama Island. I do agree it didn't belong on Cartoon Network, but I like Total Drama Island. I like Island, I like Action, and I like World Tour. I love World Tour because I'm a sucker for songs. I love songs. City era, greater than every other CN era. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. And it was kind of cool with Magoozy, because Magoozy, even though Magoozy replaced Toonami and it was inferior to Toonami, Magoozy was kind of cool because Magoozy was like in the sewers, and then whenever Magoozy ended, they would like pan up through the sewer and go back to the Cartoon Network city. Have you seen Vox Machina? Show is dope. No, I have not. That was one I meant to check out and just never did. Power Hour is still better than Planet Sheen. I mean, Power Hour is good. Planet Sheen is just awful. That's not really a competition. I mean, Power Hour 3 could have been better, but all the Power Hours are pretty decent. Planet Sheen was just awful because they don't realize what a comic relief is. The 2010s is when Cartoon Network lost its way. No, I would say when that era that happened where Cartoon Network stopped being Cartoon Network, when Cartoon Network started being about live action shows, and they weren't really that good at live action shows, that's when Cartoon Network lost its way. The 2010s brought Cartoon Network into a new era, and I have to say that era was pretty good, because that's when like Steven Universe started happening, Gumball started happening, shows like that came out in the 2010s. And then Teen Titans Go happened, and that was a huge influence on Cartoon Network that I did not like. Like Teen Titans Go in itself, I'm fine with, but the influence it had on Cartoon Network was something I just did not like. Have you played Injustice? Yes, Injustice is sitting over there. It is a game I played a lot during the PS3 era. Would making CN City into its own show be a workable concept in your opinion? It would be a very difficult concept. You are naturally inviting a lot of problems doing something like that. But if you could do it successfully, yes. Oh, there's my water. Have you seen Xiaolin Showdown? If so, you're going to review it. I would need to look for an episode to review. Xiaolin Showdown could definitely work for this channel because that thing is very episodic and it teaches a lot of lessons. So I can see myself reviewing Xiaolin Showdown. Again, I would need to find it. I would need to watch it. I do remember loving the finale of Xiaolin Showdown. Even though it doesn't work with the continuity, I do remember like the twist was really good. And then the sequel came out and I was so annoyed. What's your opinion on Checkered Past? I don't have cable, so I haven't seen it. Despite what people may think of the show, seeing as a network's decay really did start in 2010s. I don't think so, because there was a period, I want to say it started in, I want to say it went from 2005 to 2008, where Cartoon Network was just awful. And it was really trying to find its footing. I think it came back in 2010 with a new coat of paint. And then I think it started falling again towards like 2014, 2015. When it came back in 2010s, I don't think it was as good as in the City era. But I do think it came back, like it was on a rise. Because in the like, what was this? I think it was like, is his name Snyder or I forget who was running CN at the time. But during that time, there was only like 2 good new Cartoon Network shows, which was Chowder and Flapjack. Did you ever watch the Boondocks? Yes, I reviewed an episode from the Boondocks. I've seen all the Boondocks episodes. Shaolin Chronicles sucks as a sequel series and a show in general. Yes. Well, I don't know as a show in general. I just know it sucks as a sequel series. And to be fair, they couldn't get all the rights. The bad era season started with Reanimated and Out of Jimmy's Head. Yeah. I like the concept of Out of Jimmy's Head, but like looking back on it, it wasn't a good show. I don't remember Reanimated. That title sounds familiar, but I don't remember it. Does anybody remember when Cartoon Network tried to do live action stuff? That's what I'm talking about. That was like that was probably the lowest point of Cartoon Network. And then when the 2010s came, they started doing better because that's when Steven Universe and Gumball and Clarence and a lot of shows that a lot of people began talking about came out. I thought they were at their peak 14, 15. No, I still say the 2000s were peak. Cartoon Network had many fails. Out of Jimmy's Head, overdoing Fred Burger. I don't know what they were doing with that Fred Burger nonsense. And I love Fred Burger. I love Billy and Mandy. And the Fred Burger with Billy and Mandy is my favorite episode of Billy and Mandy. But I don't know what they were doing with Fred Burger. The what was that? The Keeper of the Reaper episode? That's my favorite episode of Billy and Mandy. Quick question, which one do you like better, Flapjack or Chowder? Now, Chowder. Back in the day, it was Flapjack. I remember there was one episode of Flapjack that left me floored. It was so funny. But I can't remember it now. Chowder has a lot more memeable moments. One that I particularly like is the help, she's going to sit on us. And of course, there were those YouTubers who did the reanimated of the Christmas episode. Hey, Shady, love your content, and I appreciate it, especially as a fellow Christian. Thank you for good commentary without swearing. You're welcome. I remember when I first started doing YouTube, I was influenced by 2 people because they were able to deliver quality content without swearing. And one of them is a person I know personally, which is Buona from Buona.tv. He was able to deliver quality content without swearing, and the other one was Peanut Butter Gamer. That was way back in like the late 2000s, early 2010s. I was like, that's what I want to do that. I didn't want to do it for a living back then. I just want to do it as a hobby, but they really inspired me. I feel a lot of CN's 2010 shows went down, sadly. I heard I'm trying to watch it. Oh, that's another show that came out. Adventure Time. Adventure Time came out during the 2010 era. Camp Lazlo. Oh, yeah, Camp Lazlo. I do think Camp Lazlo came out during that time as well. Or maybe Camp Lazlo was before 2005. I might have to relook at that. Chowder and Flapjack held it down. My gym partner is a monkey, tried, but didn't quite get the job done. Yeah, all four of those sound like that came from that time. What's your take on Powerpuff Girls? The original? I love the original Powerpuff Girls. The reboot sucked. And there was something about the movie. What gets me about the Powerpuff Girls is that it's such a weird concept, but it works so well. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. That was my sister's favorite cartoon for a while. Loved that show. Don't forget Regular Show came out in the 2010s as well. Diff Guy. And nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong. That's why I remember the Christmas episode. I was thinking to myself, like, why did I bring up the Christmas episode? That's why. That moment destroys me. Nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong. Do you plan on doing a review of Adventure Time? Not really, because I haven't seen Adventure Time. I was making my way through it and I kind of got distracted by superheroes. Real ones watch the Powerpuff Girls. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't watch the Powerpuff. The Powerpuff Girls had like things that everyone liked. It had action for the boys, and it had I was gonna say, like, I'm trying to think of the right term. Emotional moments, jeez, for the girls. It's kind of like Totally Spies. And speaking of Billy and Mandy, thoughts on the episode Company Halt with General Scar reuniting with Evil Concur? I don't think I've ever seen that episode. Can you do a review or a reaction of CN City, aka the best bumpers ever? That would be something different. I wouldn't mind doing something like that, but that would be something very different. That would be like an experimental video. I tend to do like experimental videos like every month or every other month. But usually it's like, it's not experimental in format. It's usually experimental in topic. Like I'll be like, oh, how did the intellectuals react to this show? Do they like it? So I could see me doing something like that, but especially since the bumpers are all available on YouTube, I could see me doing something like that. But I couldn't promise I'd do something like that. Teen Titans Go got its oversaturation from Johnny Test. Oh yeah, Johnny Test. I like Johnny Test. So, you know, there was a time, I forgot there was a time where a lot of people were complaining about Johnny Test because it was just played so much. I completely forgot about that because like the Teen Titans Go oversaturation just rewrote everything about the Johnny Test oversaturation. You ever thinking of making videos on Batman the Animated Series? Yes. Hey, Shady, how you doing? What's your favorite Boondocks episode? The one that I reviewed. Riley was here. Do you remember the Static Shock episode when Static went back in time to try and save his dead mother? That made me cry. Yes, I do remember that episode. Diff Guy, again, thank you very much. I just remembered, have you ever seen or heard of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic? Yes, I have. If you go back on the channel far enough, you will see reviews of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Because I watched that show. I watched that show just out of curiosity because I thought it was a superhero show because people talked about Rainbow Dash and how she could fly faster than the speed of sound. So that's what I thought it was. I thought it was just a girly superhero show, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, I love DC superhero girls. But I watched it. I watched the whole first season. I'm like, this is a very, very girly show. Not for me. But I then started watching brony content, and brony content was freaking amazing. And I'm like, in order to understand brony content, I have to watch the show. So My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, I watched all the way up till season, I want to say the beginning of season 7 is when I stopped. Mainly because I wanted to keep up with brony content. And it really is a shame that like a lot of brony channels, once the interest in My Little Pony died, that their channels died. It really is a shame because a lot of them are just really talented YouTubers, and they deserve like more than just being remembered for that era specifically. That's kind of a fear I have with myself, which is why I constantly experiment with new topics because I don't want to fall into that trap of people relying on. Of my channel relying on the interest of a specific show, and then the interest of that show dies. Seth Lowry, again, if I remember correctly, Clone Wars was doing really well and catered to older kids, so seeing cancel shows like Chowder to focus on more older kid shows. That sounds about right. If you had a shot for every time you heard the whip sound effect, Johnny Test, you'd be on the floor in a minute. Or yeah, that was the big critique everyone gave to Johnny Test. They used that whip crack sound effect for every movement. Have you ever seen Godzilla the series on Fox Kids? I have, but I have very little memory of it. I just remember and Godzuki. That's the only thing I remember. I wish another show could garner a fandom like that. I personally enjoyed Johnny Test. Also, Bling Bling Boy was my favorite character. Do you have thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog? I like Sonic the Hedgehog. I played Sonic the Hedgehog when I was little, but I didn't really start liking Sonic the Hedgehog until, ironically, Sonic 06. Because I love Sonic 06. It's really weird. I played that on the second channel. It's a very frustrating game to play, but I have such good memories with it. The story is actually a story I really, really love. Like the only part I really dislike about the 06 story is the whole Elise being a love interest. That's the only thing that I really didn't like. But everything else I loved, even though it's a really bad story. I just love that it told the same story from 3 different perspectives, and so much stuff was going on. And that's when I kind of sort of like, I consider myself a casual fan with Sonic, or maybe slightly above a casual fan just because I played 06 so much. But that's when I started really watching Sonic. Like I watched Sonic Prime, love Sonic Prime. I want to go and watch Sonic Boom just for the fun, like just when I'm like eating or something, watch Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom is such a good, funny show. I just think it kind of came out like maybe at the wrongish time. Like it should have gone on. I feel like it should be more popular than it is basically what I want to say. Like maybe it should have came out during the streaming era. Or did it come out during the streaming era? Yeah, because Sonic Boom, the game, came out during the streaming era, but cable was still like a bigger factor with cartoons. Have you ever watched Sonic X? Yes, that's the Sonic cartoon I grew up with, Sonic X. I honestly think humans besides Eggman have no place in Sonic, especially not as love interests. Well, I enjoyed Sonic X, but I prefer a story without humans. Sonic Prime was very fun, and it didn't have really any humans other than Eggman. I've only heard amazing things about Boom, at least the show. It's high on my to watch this. I mean, Boom is just a fun show. Like, it's not a show you're supposed to take super seriously. It's just a fun show with episodic adventures. So I really like it. Did you ever play the Lego games? I did not, no. I mean, I did play them, but not for long enough to say I've played them. Like, when like I'll be in a Walmart and the Lego game would be on demo, like something like that, play for like 5-10 minutes. I cannot see Sonic's cutscenes because of Snap Q's Fanta. That's one of the reasons I love Snap Q, because I love I love Sonic 06, and then I saw Snap Q and I'm like, oh, this is so brilliant. Would you ever review Sonic Prime here on the channel? Sonic Prime feels like something I can't review in an episodic format, so I would have to review it as a whole, either as a series or by seasons, or talk about some of the concepts like I did with the Heimerdinger video. Have you seen or heard of Bluey? I've seen like one episode of Bluey. I know what it is because I have what are they called? I have nieces and nephews, so I know what it is. But I've never I haven't watched too many episodes of it. I've seen like one episode. Did you play the Sonic Adventure 1 or 2? I did not, because I didn't really get into playing. Like, I played Sonic when I was little, but it was like the original Sonic. Actually, I think I did play Sonic Adventure 1 once, and it was for like 10, 20 minutes. Have you played Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? No, I have not played like any modern games except for League of Legends. And I'm working my way up to Kingdom Hearts 3. But like all the games I played are like PS3 era and before. What is your least favorite DuckTales episode? Probably the chase of the last crash of the Sun Chaser. Just because like the episode itself isn't too bad, but I detest what Dewey does in that episode. I think it's just awful. Have you seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? No, I have not. Have you seen the Batman Brave in the Boat episode with Ted Kord? Yes, I have. Which actually I saw in my brain. I figured there was a Ted Kord episode, but I didn't want to look up because sometimes I do have to look stuff up. I didn't want to look it up because I felt like it would spoil it for me. So I just mentioned in my Batman Brave in the Boat review that I was hoping to see Ted Kord, but I did kind of know he was going to show up in a later episode. On Daria rewatches, have you checked out the Daria restoration project that restores the original aired broadcasted audio? No, I have not. What are some video game franchises you played? I was a gamer up until the 2010s, so there are a lot of video game franchises that I played. The most notable ones are The Legend of Zelda, the Mario series, the Infamous series, Sonic series. But yeah, I played a lot of video games. Tekken is probably like a really big one. The Dragon Ball Z Budokai series, including the Tenkaichi games. What's your favorite superhero movie? Probably Avengers Civil War. Do you personally believe the King of the Hill theory that Dale knew about John Redcorn and Nancy the whole time? No, I do not. Because A, Dale's an idiot. And B, there's really no evidence like to support it. There's really no proof. There is evidence, but it's very loose evidence. There's really no proof to support it. Oh, I heard of Infamous. I wish I got into it. I played Infamous 1 and Infamous 2 on the second channel. They are two of my favorite games of all time. They're not at the top. That's Majora's Mask, but my sinuses are. I've been talking a lot. My sinuses are acting up. How do you feel about Batman Beyond's movie getting scrapped? This is my first time hearing about it. Did you play Oddworld Abe's Odyssey? No, I did not. Someone asked this in chat, but did you see the TMNT 2003 series? It's my favorite version. The 2003 series? Yeah, that's the version I grew up with. I'm a millennial, so that is the version I grew up with. Though I don't have the best memory of it. I did watch it a lot. Like, I watched it all the time, but I don't have the best memory of it. Thoughts on 4Kids TV as a block? I mean, it was fine. I preferred Kids WB. You ever watch South Park? I'm watching it right now. I'm currently on season 2. What's a series of movies you've watched all the way through? Notably, examples being the MCU. Well, I watched the MCU up until Captain Marvel. I skipped Captain Marvel because I didn't like the propaganda around that movie, and then I watched Endgame. And then after that, I stopped because I was like, if they're going to introduce a new superhero, Captain Marvel, right before Endgame, then this series is headed down the wrong path. But a series of movies I have watched all the way through, like every single one. Let's not count cheap answers like movies with only 2 entries in them. Because like I've seen all of Wreck-It Ralph. I've seen all of The Incredibles. Let me think. A series of movies I've seen. I'm having trouble coming up with some. Because every series, like if it goes on for too long, I just get bored of it. I feel like series should have a stopping point at some time. That was redundant. A stopping point at some time. Technically, the Nolan Batman films. There's only 3 of those. But yeah, I've seen all of the Nolan Batman films. I've seen all of the Raimi Spider-Man films. I've seen all of the Fox X-Men films. Although, no, I haven't. I haven't seen all of the Fox X-Men films. Because I never saw the best one, Wolverine. I never saw that one. Everyone said it was the best one, and I never saw it. They should have taken a break from MCU after Endgame. Yeah, at least they should. Honestly, I think they should have ended it with Endgame because that was the end of the story. But they should have at least taken a break from it. But I guess they were trying to ride the hype, and also MCU makes a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money. What is the most creative water powers you've seen? That I've seen? I mean, I don't see too many water powers. I've seen Avatar. Hydro Man once did what I wanted him to do and make clones of himself using water. What is the most overhated character in your opinion? Most overhated? Skylar from Breaking Bad. I do not understand the hate behind Skylar in Breaking Bad. Like, I can understand people not liking her because I don't necessarily like her, but I do not understand how they hate her so much. And I think it's just because, like, if you watch Breaking Bad, like if you watched it as it came out, I think there's a dissonance between someone like me who watched it all the way through after it came out. Because there's just such a visceral hatred for Skylar. And I'm like, she was gaslit throughout the whole show. How do people hate her reaction when she was gaslit so much? Like that to me is just I genuinely think she's overhated. Not that I mind that she's disliked. I just think she's overhated. Have you seen Netflix live action Avatar? No, I don't care to. Are you going to do an episode where Tom and Daria kiss? Probably. A lot of people are expecting it. I don't have it planned as my next Daria video, but a lot of people are expecting me to cover the Tom and Daria kiss episode. Have you heard of the YouTube channel Brown Table? No, I have not. Are you going to do another Batman The Brave and the Bold review? Possible. The other Batman Brave and the Bold video didn't get as many views as I thought it would. But sometimes that happens with the first video of a series. It just doesn't do that well. So it's better to try them off in threes. Just maybe kind of spread them out. It's possible I could do more. Like I probably, unless I really want to, I probably won't do another DuckTales video because I've done 3 DuckTales videos and they've all not really performed well. But a lot of people want me to cover the Music Meister episode, which I haven't seen yet, and the Joe Chill episode, which I have seen. It's a really good episode. Do you think Mabel from Gravity Falls gets undeserved hate for her actions in the final episode? No. I think I'm pretty much in the I don't dislike Mabel, but man, she ticked me off through. I dislike the message they push with Mabel. That's where my somewhat dislike of Mabel comes from. I like Mabel as a character, but I dislike the message they push with her, which is like Dipper has to sacrifice everything to make Mabel to stay with Mabel because that's what makes Mabel happy. And the episode's trying to say like staying together is is the point. Like Dipper is happier staying with Mabel. But I'm like, they push that with Stanford and with Dipper. And I'm like, they're asking these people to not follow their dreams so they can spend a little bit more time. It's like they're not going to be away from these people forever. They should be allowed to follow their dreams. And it frustrates me that that Gravity Falls goes in that direction. Like, because I don't want to come across as if I'm saying, like, don't spend time with your loved ones or anything like that. But it frustrates me that they say you have to sacrifice anything you want if it means you can't spend time, if you can't spend all of your time with your loved ones. Like, that frustrates me very much. And Mabel is kind of like the center of that because she wants the family to stay together always. What's the best Disney movie you've seen? Objectively, are we counting Pixar? Because that would probably be Coco. If we're not counting Pixar, then probably The Lion King. Those aren't my favorite though. Like I already said my favorites, which are Hercules, Aladdin, Wreck-It Ralph, and a Goofy movie. Are you ever going to review Family Guy? Probably not. I don't really have anything to say about Family Guy. Plus, I haven't seen it in forever. What do you think of BoJack Horseman? Oh, ho, ho. Your mom. You go back far enough, you'll know exactly what I think of BoJack Horseman. I have a lot of videos of BoJack Horseman. BoJack Horseman used to be the main series of the channel. But like once the show ended, I just stopped reviewing it. Overall, though, to answer your question, BoJack Horseman is a great show. I think season 5 was a downward dip. A lot of people disagree with me with that. And I think season 6, while good, could have been better, but they did the best they could with what they had. But seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4, really good. I love season 4. Season 4 is amazing of BoJack Horseman. Hey, Shady, if you had an Omnitrix, which aliens would be on your playlist? Gray matter. Because being smart and being able to build whatever you need, that goes a long way. And I don't like Brainstorm as much as I like gray matter. I didn't care for how Dewey had an obsession with everyone trying to love him. When he tried to learn the lesson, it's okay to be hated, and ended with him getting everyone to love him. Yeah, I didn't like how they played that off. Like, if that's the lesson of the episode, it's okay for people to hate you. Don't make everyone love the character as a result. Including Pixar, I was going to say either The Incredibles or Wreck-It Ralph, not including Pixar, Hunchback of Notre Dame. So yeah, I'd say maybe Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, or Aladdin. Those are like top tier Disney movies. If we include Pixar, I'd say Coco probably takes the crown. Incredibles is also just an extremely solid, objectively good movie. But I feel like Coco hits something that Incredibles doesn't. But that doesn't mean Incredibles isn't like S tier. Okay, people, we're going to have to call it there because my sinuses are acting up and also I need to go eat. So thank you guys so much for coming to this stream. This is just a quick little thing because I didn't get the video done today that I wanted to get done today. And I don't like going too long without releasing content. It makes me feel iffy, and also the algorithm doesn't really like it too much. One day I will learn to sit up straight and actually look at the camera when I'm talking. But thank you guys for stopping by, asking questions. It's all fun and good. Don't forget, I have a Twitter. If you want to talk to me some more, I have a Twitter. You can always leave comments on the video if you want to talk to me some more. I also have a Discord where I answer questions on my Discord. And you can talk to other intellectuals about what they got going on in their lives. And I also have a second channel where I play video games, and I'm supposed to be doing other stuff than just playing video games, but I'm still trying to get the playing video games part down because that takes a lot of time. But yeah, and if you want to support the channel, I do have Patreon and PayPal in the links in the description of all my videos. And of course, you could leave super chats like people have been doing here today. So Once again, thank you guys. I'll figure out how to end live streams properly someday, and I will see you guys later. This has been Shady Doorags. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. Aha! I was trying so hard not to cough during that outro. Later, y'all.